Back with another Savage stream. Thanks to everyone tuning in and liking, sharing, and commenting on all my videos and subscribing to my channel. I'm over like 4.2K subscribers, which is pretty awesome. Thanks so much for all that. You guys are really rad. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. So in this video, we are going to be talking about the fundamental development goal of Ravencoin that applies to something that's trending in the crypto space right now. It's almost like the Ravencoin developers and backers were from the future or something, or at least could see into the future and knew what was coming. Plus, we are going to put this Ravencoin use case into action real time on the Ravencoin testnet. And we are building on something, you know, that we've been working on, this whole Ravencoin roadmap. And if you want to know how we got to this point, you'll have to watch these other videos because I can't just rehash it every time. You'll have to go over here and look at the Ravencoin roadmap, part 1A, part 1B. I think that was it for the 2. And then it's kind of like what we're trying to accomplish here is basically just setting up a tokenized business. That's it. On the Ravencoin network and trying to use all of the capabilities of the Ravencoin network. That's what we're looking at doing. So if you're interested in that, be sure to subscribe if you're not already. Much appreciated. So check this out. This article here is from Fractal Encrypt, and it's an article on Medium, and it's describing how to issue a crypto collectible on the Ravencoin network. Now you might be saying, all right, that sounds cool and all. Sounds like NFTs or nifties, right? And you'd be 100% correct. So what's the big deal about this particular article? Well, look at the date on the article. It's from September of 2018. That's over 2 years ago. So we'll actually be creating an NFT on the Ravencoin testnet in this video. Hopefully, you know, doing things like this live are always kind of crazy, but I think we'll be able to get through it. Yeah, September 12th of 2018. This person, Fractal Encrypt, put out an article on how to basically create an NFT. I don't think it says NFT anywhere in here, but it is absolutely referring to an NFT. So I thought that was pretty cool. Kind of gives some value to this here. So first, let's continue setting up. We need to finish or at least add on to our little organization here. This is basically what we had going, and I think that some of this is kind of new to, if you've been watching all the videos, because I did add these sub assets down here. I called them sub assets. There was one time where I was trying to work in like some type of a crazy matrix here, and it just was going to be a little bit too complicated. So I went ahead and changed it up a little bit. We're just going to create some sub assets underneath of Pocket Change XD, which is the main corporation. And let's go ahead and do this so that we can have them available to us at the end here. So we need to create a sub asset, which is basically, you can look at it as a department of Pocket Change XD as the corporation. So a department would be 3D printing. And you might be wondering, okay, so why do you have an underscore in there? Well, you have to have an underscore whenever you're creating a token or an asset. All right. So this is our main asset right here. These are all sub assets, marketing, sales, and services. You can see that on the original thing over here. You got marketing, sales, and services. I'm kind of ditching this a little bit. We might bring it back into the scenario later, but for now, we just need to simplify this a little bit and create the department: 3D printing, collectibles, renewable energy, and content delivery. Those are going to be basically our 4 departments. So let's go ahead and create some assets in the Ravencoin. Now this is testnet. You can see up here. I talked about how to create a testnet wallet and launch it in a couple of the previous videos concerning this scenario. So if you need to get caught up where we're at, make sure that you watch those to find out how to do that, because I'm not going to do that every time. All right, so let's go ahead and click on create assets. You can see here it's got main asset selected by default. Net burns 500 Raven. We need to create a sub asset, and whenever we click on a sub asset, it is going to ask us which main asset we want to put it under, which we only have one, so that's okay. We just click over here, and oh, actually no, we have 4 now because we can nest them underneath of each other. That's right. So we're going to click on this one. We don't want anything underneath of these these are departments by themselves. You could create sub departments, sure, but we're going to go under Pocket Change XD. We're going to call it 3D, and you can see right here if I put a space, it's going to say nope, no spaces. So 3D underscore printing. That's what I'm going to type in here. That is what I called that, right? Let me double check here. 3D printing. Yep. All right, and then it's green over here, which means it's probably going to be good. We're going to click on check availability because that's the only way you can get the create assets to actually be selectable. Right now it's grayed out. So we're going to check availability. We got valid asset right here, create asset, and it does cost 100 Raven. So 100 Raven gets burned, sent to a burn address whenever you create an asset or a sub asset. We're going to choose yes to this. Okay, great. Awesome. So that's just one. So now we're going to create another one. So sub asset. The next one is going to be called collectibles, which is the one we'll be using tonight. All right, it's already green. Check availability, valid asset. Oh yeah, I'm gonna leave these reissuable, and we're not gonna add any IPFS. We'll do this in a little bit so that you can kind of see what's going on with it. But let's see here. Create. So we're gonna get this one created. The next one is renewable energy. What you're hearing is all the transactions coming in for creating these assets. I could turn that off, I guess. All right, now that's interesting. Okay, so it couldn't be at the end, right? So that's why it lit up like that, because it was it was thinking that it was going to be at the end. Now I am noticing something here. I don't have enough characters to do this, so it's got to be. Let me see here. All right, it doesn't say, it just locks it out. Okay, so we might have to rename this in some way, because that's as far as it'll go. Energy, that'll work for me. I don't know, what do you all think? I think that'll be fine. We'll just take the Y off of there. We're leaving it reissuable so we could change it. I think is the way that works. Or actually, no. Wait. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to recreate. You could burn this one and then create it a different name if you wanted to in the future. Is how you would do it. Reissuable only deals with the number of units and quantity and stuff. All right, so let's check availability. Looks good. Yeah, I'm not looking at the chat, guys, because I'll get distracted. Hopefully you guys are over there talking it up. Let me look just real quick. Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? All right, that's it. I'm done. All right, let's see here. So we got that one. Now we're going to go with content delivery. This one's probably going to be too long as well. You can see I did not do any testing with this, so that's why we're running into this problem live here. Content delivery. Yeah, see, it's too long. All right. So, we can rename it. I mean, we could just take the, looks like we could just take the underscore out. We could just name it content. Let's go with creators. That might work better. All right, check availability. All good. Great asset. All right, there we go. Now we got our assets created. I'll show you that in just a moment. I'll change this. Most likely, most of this is already showing up in the wallet here. So if we go back to overview, we should start seeing some things pop in here. Maybe not quite yet, but if we go to transactions, you're going to see everything that we just did. Printing, 3D printing, collectibles, renewable energy, and creators. You can see how it's burning the Raven, 100 each. And then this little, the one asset, or the one asset that has the exclamation point after it, that's your admin token, or your admin asset. So it's like the owner of that particular token or asset. All right, so I think we are good here. This stuff should start showing up. Yeah, there we go. Starting to show up underneath here. You got creators, collectibles. So it's all mixed in. It looks like it's in some type of alphabetical order. That kind of makes sense, I guess. So 3D printing, collectibles, creators, and renewable energy. All right. Then underneath of collectibles is where we need to create a sub asset underneath of collectibles called NFT. So let's go and do that real quick, and then we'll get back into some other content. So we're going to go to create assets, and we're just setting up our structure here so that we can do an exercise that shows how this works. So I'm going to go sub asset underneath of collectibles. It's going to be called NFT. Oh, you know what? We might be running out of characters here. It looks like we are, because there is a limit. All right, so we're getting pretty deep here. I'm going to go, let's see, and I guess we can just go NF. That's going to be all we can do. All right, so that's like a lesson learned. As you're naming stuff, especially if you're going to get really deep on your levels, you're going to probably have to come up with shorter shorter names instead of like full like collectibles and stuff like that. All right, lesson learned. I should have looked up the naming, the syntax rules here. All right, so create asset, we're going to go NF for that. That's cool. That works for me. Go back over here to overview. Oops. Okay, and then overview. So eventually it'll show back up, doing that whole blockchain thing now. All right, cool. All right, so we got everything set up. Now we are in a situation to where this makes sense, and we can actually use this to create an NFT underneath of here. So let me get rid of this. Yeah, we're gonna be really constrained on some of these naming, our naming convention here, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. Not a big deal. So there's our sub asset right here. NF collectibles. All right, great. Let's head back over to. So let's talk about NFTs real quick. Because that's what this is kind of about. And some people kind of hate on them a little bit. You see a little bit of hate on Twitter and whatnot for NFTs. Like why are there such a thing as NFTs? But people collect things for all sorts of different reasons. I mean, it could be sentimental value, it could be emotional connection. I mean, that's what art is, right? So like, I'm not into art, so some of this is I'm probably going to use the wrong terminology, the wrong all that stuff. But I can see how some things, there are things that I have a sentimental value to that I hold on to or whatever. But people who are into art, they can look at art and they have an emotional connection with it. Now, I'm not saying that that's what everybody's doing with NFTs, because it probably isn't. There is definitely a financial incentive here in this current NFT market, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more later. But just just know that again, like I said earlier, a lot of people are hating on it. A lot of people don't see the value and stuff. But you got to remember that we're humans, right? And there's this weird connection that we have to things in some cases. But one thing to remember about NFTs specifically, they're not new. They've been around quite a while. You know, you had CryptoKitties from 2017 that crushed the Ethereum network. NFTs are commonly, like, what are they? They're commonly cryptographically verified collectibles or artwork that trade on a blockchain. That's kind of like a simple definition of it. Much of the value that they have is due to scarcity and their verifiable authenticity. So that's an important part of what makes an NFT valuable. NFT stands for non-fungible token, which means that it can't be interchanged with one another. Like, their values are different, so they're not interchangeable. They are each unique with their own characteristics. Each one could have different value as the next. Cryptocurrency itself is fungible, but these NFTs are riding on cryptocurrency networks, the blockchain. But cryptocurrency is fungible. One coin on a blockchain spends the same as any other. You know, one Bitcoin is the same as the next Bitcoin. So, but in an NFT world, it is unique. They are each unique. There's a couple main types of NFTs. You got blockchain data only NFT. You have blockchain and IPFS, which is kind of what we're going to do. Blockchain data and a real world asset. Like, for example, you were selling, actually that would apply more to like just selling like shares of a building. Blockchain data and real world asset would be like I was going to describe a different scenario. The real scenario would be like, let's say that you have a real piece of artwork that you are tokenizing on the network. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that you have serialized that artwork in some way, like a picture or a painting, and you've serialized it in some way that you can verify it on a blockchain. So the blockchain matches the serial on the actual drawing or painting or whatever, your artwork, sculpture, whatever it is. So that's like a blockchain data and a real world asset. Then you've got blockchain data, the IPFS, and a real world asset. So there's lots of different ways of implementing an NFT, but what you see mostly in the space right now is just a digital picture, right? Or a video that is an NFT, and it could be stored in a lot of different ways. Most of the time it's IPFS, and we talked about IPFS in the previous video, so if you're wondering what that's all about, we'll go over a little bit of it tonight, but not too in depth. IPFS itself is like its own video. It could be. So who are these NFTs for? I mean, who creates them and why? Why would they do it? So one of the most important aspects of NFTs or use case of NFTs is for artists. And some folks say like, okay, I don't understand the big deal. I can just take a picture of your NFT, of your $300,000 NFT that you just paid 300 Ethereum for, and now I have it. But that's not how it works, because, you know, imagine the difference between a real Rembrandt or a Picasso and a counterfeit. Just because you take a picture on your phone of a Picasso or a Rembrandt or the Mona Lisa or whatever doesn't mean that you now own it. You could hang that, you could print it out, put it on your wall. That does not mean that you have and you own the actual Mona Lisa, right? So that's kind of a silly argument. I understand what they're saying as far as if there is not that connection to it, if there's no emotional connection. Like, if people who are not into art are the ones that would say, I can just take a picture of it. Hopefully that makes sense, right? I mean, you can see that they're missing the point. So anyway, you got this Banksy. Again, I'm not into art, but apparently this guy's super famous. Banksy, this person here, actually, this is Burned Banksy on Twitter, and he burned a Banksy photo, or a painting, not a painting, hold on. What would you call this? Is this a drawing? I guess it's a drawing. All right, so he burned it, filmed it, and you can see the actual, I think you can see the video somewhere where he actually burned it. Here we go. So he set this thing on fire. Now Banksy is apparently, you know, super popular. That his picture or drawings are very expensive. People pay lots of money for them. Okay, great. So this guy, or a group of people, I think, bought this drawing, Banksy drawing, and then they burned it. You might be wondering, all right, well, why are you doing that? Well, they made it into an NFT. And now this NFT is for sale. And think about this. All right, so you've got Banksy doing a drawing, a real drawing, and selling it. And then you've got investors, or whatever you call them, burning it. But before they burn it, they NFT'd it. They made it into an NFT. Now the only original artwork of that picture that Banksy created, I'll say create, but I don't know what it is on the blockchain, is an NFT now. So now that's the only way that you can own it. This is kind of brilliant given the current, you know, space and how things are going with NFTs. So this is super cool. Anyway, so this is on sale now. So he burned it. I think, yeah, it's still going over here. Legit burned it. Now it's for sale over here on OpenSea as an NFT. Let me do a little refresh here. And it is currently going for $14,333, and that's in wrapped Ethereum. So there you go. And this one was print 325 of 500, and so it's not even you know, one of a kind, I guess, right? And what's funny about this is the actual caption right here says, or the actual text right here on the picture that's in the picture says, "I can't believe you morons are," what does it say? "I can't believe you morons actually buy this shit." Anyway, I don't know if that's like a jab at whoever's buying this particular piece of art. I don't know. Anyway, all right. So let's get on with it. Another good example would be this guy over here, Rick Demont. He does water painting, and not a tech guy, and he tells you that he's not a tech guy, but someone brought up to him to tokenize his artwork. So he talks about it over here, like why blockchain. So some of his, I don't know if all of them, but his gallery is actually on tokenized. And this is, I want to say he's using Ravencoin actually for this, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, I didn't look that much into it, but these are tokenized assets as well. We could probably go and look for Rick Demont on the Ravencoin Explorer. We could probably Asset Explorer, and we could probably find it. Again, I did not go into it that much. So another use case of NFTs could be musicians. And the latest news on that, let me get rid of some of this stuff. The latest news on that is Kings of Leon, if you're familiar. They're okay. Not a huge fan, but they are pretty cool. They are to release their new album as an NFT. You might be thinking, okay, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. How are they going to do that? They're going to do it in different ways with different types of tokens. It says the first type of token will be a special album package. The second will offer holders the perks like front row tickets for life and things like that. So they're going to sell this on some type of marketplace. And if you buy that specific NFT, then that will represent your tickets for life. So I think that's kind of cool. And the third is going to be some audio visual art. So they're NFTing some of the aspects of a new album. Now this can go really deep. We can talk about this for a long time with how artists can actually use a blockchain and NFTs and all that stuff to really rein in the copying and the counterfeiting of their work. That's part of the genius and the awesome part of having blockchain technology at all, is being able to do that. I think it's really cool. So that's another thing that you can NFT, tokenize, is music, and artists are doing stuff like that. Another one would be virtual real estate. And virtual real estate, you know, you got Decentraland out there selling NFT slices of land. You know, you could own like parts of a bridge, for example, and then anybody that uses that bridge in the virtual world and pays a toll, then you could get some of that based on how much of it you own. Right? This is crazy whenever you start applying it to virtual things. But this is another one here where it's upland, virtual land NFTs are the future of crypto. It talks about that. So this is like all virtual land, and you can buy pieces of it in the virtual world and own them forever. That's kind of neat. I think one of the more important aspects of NFTs will be in gaming, because this is neat. Now imagine owning, let's say that you're if the game developers really take this on, I'm not a gamer, so I don't really know how far they've taken this, but this could be really significant, because you could have, like, let's just take a wild example. I know people play you know, World of Warcraft, or another good one would be a racing game like we're seeing here. So a racing car. So let's say that you've got this, you could, as a developer, you could create a unique NFT that is on a blockchain that your game can communicate with, right? And then you can have a unique asset, a unique car that has all unique paint scheme, all the unique and desired components inside it, you know, engine, the type of engine, you know, turbo, whatever. You could have all these different things in there, and it could be one of a kind. And then that would, so if you were playing the game, you could be playing with a one of a kind car, for example. Okay, then think about this: you could transfer that car or sell that car to another user. Or you could do, if you were popular, like let's say, you know, you were Ninja or something like that, you could actually give away NFTs and play with them first. So let's say that you've got a car that some popular gamer used in a race, you know, a racing game, and they won races with it or whatever. Then they gave that car away or sold it or auctioned it off or whatever. You know, the sky's the limit. You just think about it however you want. Use your imagination. But now you, just some person sitting in their mom's basement playing video games all day, could actually have that same token. There's provenance there, because you can see where it came from. You know that it came from, it's the same exact one that Ninja, for example, used in that game. So I think that this is a cool application. I mean, there's no denying that, I mean, this type of thing is really neat, and it could go super far. Hopefully they are looking at stuff like this. And I think they are. I'm going to check the chat. I'm going long. I know I am. What's up, guys? Yeah, we should hopefully we'll be done in a few minutes. I know I'm rambling a little bit. I get there sometimes. All right, guys, I'm just checking the chat, making sure everything's okay. All right, cool. Everything, hopefully sound is good. I forgot to bring the mic a little bit closer. Hopefully this might help a little bit. Some people complain that I sound like I'm really far away from the mic, and it depends. It depends on whether or not I remember to bring it closer. All right, let's see here. You also have like distributors. There's plenty of distributors out there that are using NFTs. One example would be Vincent Winery. They tokenize their wines, wine futures on Ravencoin network, which is kind of cool. I mean, guys, there's 25,000. There's more than 25,000 assets, main assets on, I think all main assets on the Ravencoin network right now. So there are definitely assets out there that are being used in the real world, and this is not something that is just, you know, it's not a fugazi. You know, this actually exists. So just keep that in mind. This stuff is actually happening. People are actually using it. So yeah, I think it's cool. So some benefits of NFTs would be to allow artists to capitalize on their work in ways that is not achievable before. So imagine this. Imagine, look, I know I'm going to get off on a tangent again, but let's look at how an artist meaning a singer, a band, whatever, even you know, a painter, any of that stuff. Well, more so on the band and yeah, music. Let's look at the musical side of this. So if you are a band and you know you've signed with a label, then they kind of like control all of your distribution, you know, your royalties and all that cool stuff, all the ways that you make money. But let's say that you were like a smaller, you know, local band or something like that. You could actually tokenize your music, right? NFT your music, and actually you would probably not want to do it as a smaller. So let's take a large a celebrity example that they get copied a lot, right? So you know, it's one of the challenges that all these artists have is just people recording their music, copying MP3s and putting it out there, and now you know, everybody remembers the Napster day. Well, some of us remember the Napster days. I sometimes wear a Napster shirt and like LimeWire and all that stuff, where you're just, you know, basically stealing someone else's work, stealing someone else's music, and then listening to it, and they don't get any benefit for that, and that's a shame, right? So you could use this to rein in that your distribution, because there's even Ravencoin could do this even further, because you could literally limit like who gets it. Like even you could restrict who gets the access to the music. Blockchains are so cool. I mean, this is insane, the stuff that you can do. Again, I'm getting off on a tangent. I could talk about this forever, but there are artists that struggle with the whole aspect of their work being copied, and they're not making money from that. So that's a shame. So an NFT is like a formalization of ownership, and that's going to outlast a business or a person or anything. It's permanent on a blockchain. So anyway, all right. I'm going to go off on a tangent. So back to Ravencoin. Let's talk about Ravencoin and how it applies to NFTs real quick. Remember that the main goal of Ravencoin is to easily create and transfer assets, and these assets could be anything: physical objects of value such as gold and silver, fiat currencies such as USD or euros. These are not NFTs. I'm referring to these are things that you could do with Ravencoin. We're going to get to the NFTs. You could do artwork such as sculptures or paintings. That's kind of like an NFT, or could be. You can do property deeds, and you know, yeah, property deeds, like a share of a project or a property. Collectibles like comic books, Tamagotchis, baseball cards, whatever. You could tokenize that as well. You could use Ravencoin for those purposes. And each one of those really kind of warrants its own video. But in this video, we want to talk about the NFTs under Pocket Change XD Business on the Ravencoin network. All right, so everything should be good now as far as confirmed and all that. We can go over here to transactions. We got a little check mark next to everything, so we are good. We should be able to proceed now. All right, so what we want to do first is we want to create, I don't know how this is going to work. Let's see here. Let's see if we can even do this. In the Ravencoin network, an NFT, like if you wanted to go apples to apples with what it's called, on Ravencoin, an NFT would be a unique token. So that's the type of asset, unique asset. I keep doing that. Unique asset. So that is the type of asset you would create on Ravencoin to make it into basically an NFT. It will be unique. There won't be more than one. So, and you can control it that way. So what we'll do is we will come over here to create assets. We want to create a unique asset, and you can see that the cost is only 5, which is a good thing because oftentimes you're creating a lot of these. But again, this goes back to my one heartache with Ravencoin. It probably is not something I need to worry about, but as the value of Ravencoin goes up, the actual USD cost of creating assets goes up. So for example, I created Savage Mine asset long ago. I think at the time it was $10 or $15 or something like that, USD value, right? That 500 Raven was only worth 10 or 15 bucks. Now it would be something like $90 or $80 or something like that. I wouldn't do it at this point unless I was in a business that I really needed to. Maybe I would, because I really want the Savage Mine Ravencoin asset. But anyway, you can see how this can get out of hand. If you were wanting to make something unique and you were creating a unique asset for each individual item, like let's say you had 100 or 500 items that you wanted a unique asset for each one that you wanted to sell or transfer, then if Ravencoin is $1, okay, and you're selling these, or you're charging, say $1 or let's say $2 for the object, now it costs $5 just to create the asset for a $2 item, whatever it is, whether it's piece of blown glass or whatever the item is. If it's only if you're selling it for $2, it costs more to create the asset. So hopefully you understand what I'm getting at. Like, as the value of Ravencoin increases, all this stuff gets more expensive to create, which might kind of push out the smaller companies and bring in larger companies or larger organizations. So hopefully that makes at least a little bit of sense. All right, so unique asset is what we want to create. We want to create it under the NF, or under collectibles, sorry. Wait a minute, what do we do here? Where is... Didn't we create a NF? All right, so we ran into our first problem here. All right. So we didn't plan out our naming in a good way, in a very applicable way here. So we're kind of stuck. We can't create anything underneath of collectibles in F because there's too many characters. All right. Okay. All right. Here's what we can do. We're gonna simplify this. We're gonna burn collectibles and collectibles NF, and we're just gonna call the sub asset NFT. I think that's what we'll have to do. All right, so let's do that. So if you want to know how to burn an asset, you're about to find out. What I do is I just go to transactions and I grab this burn address right here, the issue sub asset address, right click, copy on it, copy address. Then we'll go to overview. We're going to send collectibles, send asset to transfer, collectibles. We're going to have to do this to all of them because the names are too long. So pay to, there's that. We'll have to put 1, I believe, in here. Yeah, the balance is 1 right here, so that's going to burn that 1. So we're going to get rid of that. Here's the thing, though. On a blockchain, remember, this doesn't actually remove it from the blockchain. It's just inaccessible. So you would never be able to create... See, I still have the admin asset there. So you would never be able to create another one with the same name. I'm going to send the NF here. 1 balance over here. Send that. I'm going to keep the admin assets in there just for now. See if we're going to be able to do this. All right, so see, that's the admin token, the admin asset. All right, now we need to create another sub asset under Pocket Change XD. That's just NFTs. So we're going to create asset, sub asset underneath of Pocket Change XD. We're going to call it NFT. We'll just call it NFT. That way we have a little bit of characters left. Valid asset, create asset. Okay. All right, here we go. Go over here and change our name over here. We'll call it NFT. Get rid of this. I don't know how we'll do the rest of this. So again, now, you know, this is definitely a good example of why you would use testnet first, because I'm on testnet. This is not something that's cluttering up, you know, the Ravencoin actual mainnet. You really want to get in a testnet to test all this stuff out to make sure that your naming is going to work, right? You would never take a $1 million company and just hop on the Ravencoin network and start creating stuff without a plan for how you're going to name it. Knowing the limitations of the naming conventions too is super important. All right, which I didn't review that enough. I didn't let it sink in. All right, let's see here. Now we got an NFT right here. So we're good. It's probably not confirmed or anything, but it might let us, let's see if it'll let us create something underneath there. So what we want to do is we want to create the Pocket Change XD logo. We want to turn the logo into an NFT. So we're going to do one of these. Probably maybe include the one with the name so that it's not just the picture here. So we'll probably do this one. Let's rename this real quick. Something like that. All right. Let's see if this is going to work. Doing this live is so crazy. All right, create assets. We're going to go underneath of, we want a unique asset, basically an NFT, right? And we want it to be underneath of NFT. Okay, we're good. We're good. Not going to get too many characters to name it, I don't think. That's it right there. All right. So we'll go, let's see if we can do a full pocket change. Nope. That's as many as we got right there. So we're going to go Pocket Change XD. We'll do it exactly like we named it. Okay. Then here's the cool part. And this lets you know that it is a unique asset. You can't reissue it. See right here where reissuable is grayed out? You can't reissue it. So that makes it a unique asset. We're going to check availability. It is valid. We know that. I mean, basically, because we own Pocket Change, so we know that we can do that. Let's see. But it is checking to see if there's a burned asset out there. If we try to do a burn one, it would not work. It would tell us that it was invalid. So now we need to add IPFS, Interplanetary File System, a link to that. Okay, so you're probably thinking, all right, what in the world is that? I've got a client here that is connected with the IPFS, the Interplanetary File System. It's a peer-to-peer file sharing service that's out there. It's permissionless and all that stuff. Basically, it lets you store files globally. I guess is the easiest way to look at it. And you can see that we have the Pocket Change XD Inc. PDF. That's like our articles of incorporation. So if we go over here to the Ravencoin wallet again, go to Overview, and if we click on this little link over here, because this is all synced up, so this is enabled. So if we click on this, we are going to see on IPFS, you can see the link up here. This is on the internet, okay? Our articles of incorporation for this company that we created. And that is permanent on the blockchain, unless we were to reissue it, of course. And this one is reissuable. But that anyone on the internet globally could go and look at this. And it's shared across all the IPFS. It can be anyway. Now, there's some issues with like pinning it, and it is pinned at this particular client, but others are not going to pin it because it's just not something that's going to be accessed a lot. It's just for testing. and they're going to notice that it's never referenced, so it won't be something that they'll want to host. Okay, if that makes sense. You know, this takes up some space on their servers, so they're not going to host a ton of data like that. Okay, so now we have what we need to do is we need to get our logo into IPFS, and this is the part that I don't know if this is going to work the way I want it to, because you might have to wait on some confirmations and stuff. So we're going to click and drag this logo over to our IPFS client here. Okay, so it says it imported it. Now we have a hash. See this hash output right here, QMC, this number. So if we click on this, it's going to show us the picture. Okay, great. We want to look at more, and we want to grab our CID. All right, now I think that we will go back over to the wallet. We need to go to that asset. Oh, you know what? We stopped creating that asset. Okay, so it kept it in there. All right, that's cool. So we're going to paste in our IPFS transaction hash. So this is the hash to that logo. And we can kind of verify this. TQG9, QMC, okay. Go back over here to files. TQG9 at the end, QMC at the beginning. Okay, looks correct. If we click on it, we get it. All right, that's cool. And we go back to the wallet. It says it's valid. We've got the IPFS hash in there. So now we're going to create the asset. All right, overview. And you'll see this, since we're dealing with the same asset, see how it's like taking some stuff out of here. This is like UTXO model stuff, so it's just going to take a minute to clean this up on the blockchain. Things are getting sent back and forth, you know, so it's removing some of them temporarily. Depends on how the transactions are grouped and everything. I'm gonna check the chat since I got a minute here. What's up, guys? What is going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. You guys are awesome. All right, y'all are having fun over there in chat. Nice, nice. Yeah, on the gaming part of it, I just saw a comment about the gaming part. You know, I use like a race car example. That would be super cool. But think about it like a sword of valor or whatever, right? And there's only one of them in this whole game, in the whole universe of this one game, and only one person can own it. You know, you can't win it in any way. You have to buy it or whatever, or maybe you could win it. But nonetheless, there's only one, and you can transfer it from player to player. I think that's huge. You know, I think there's a super huge market for something like that. All right, so now we have our. Hopefully we have our unique asset down here. It says Pocket Change XD NFT, and unique assets will have the hash symbol there, the number sign, whatever you want to call it, before the actual name, the file. And I'm noticing this is kind of cool. It actually displays them with the space, even though they have an underscore in between them. So that's kind of neat. All right, so we're going to click on that, and this is where I always run into problems. All right, it's not going to work this time. I think I have to, I don't know if I have to wait or I need to shut down the client. This is where I always run into problems the very first time I post something to IPFS. It could just be replication. It could be all kinds of different problems. Not problems, but issues. So yeah, whenever you click on it, see how it's just kind of spinning. It's not going anywhere. Let me see if I can close the client down. Let me see if it'll let me pin it too. I don't know if that makes a difference. See see, it could be, it's not letting me pin it. Might be only able to pin one in this little client here, possibly. Let's see. Again. Yeah, see, it seems like it's locked up. So I don't know if maybe, kind of weird. All right, let me close that. I'm gonna try to bring it back up and see if that will open. Yeah, so see, now this has a pin, but you saw how it was not working, right? It was it was not, nothing was working inside of here. So now let's go back to the wallet and see if it actually opens. No, I think we'll have to wait. I want to say that last time I also had to close down the wallet. Maybe there was a lot of steps I used to get it to actually work. Let's see if this one still works. Yeah, that one still works. Okay. So I don't know if maybe it just takes some time to upload and become distributed on this Cloudflare IPFS.com as a hash, you know, that's accessible using this. Probably just some replication and transfer that needs to occur for that to start working. But we can still pretend like we click on this asset right here and it actually opens. And what you would see, we can do this in the next video, what you would see is the logo. Basically, it would open up just like this inside of the window, inside of IE or your browser, Brave browser, whatever. So that's how you would actually view it. In the same way that we're doing it like this. It would just open up like that. And you can see the address up there. So maybe in the next video about this, we will actually be able to actually look at it. Let me shut down the wallet. Let me try a couple things real quick because I'd really love to show you what it looks like whenever it works. I mean, you can definitely see how it works with the other one that we use, the PDF, but I think it would be kind of cool to see it work with an NFT, right? Because the PDF and the articles incorporation, that's actually like the main asset. That's not really an NFT or a unique asset. I don't think closing the wallet's going to help either, but we'll see. All right. And all you guys that are in here now, Max Voltage is going to be going live after me. He's probably going, good grief, man, you're going long. Yeah, I am. This is like 40, how many minutes now? 53 minutes. Good grief. All right, let's see if this works. Still not. Okay, it's probably, again, it's probably just replication and all that stuff. So I'm not gonna waste your time with that. Let's just wait until the next video for that to occur. And then we'll be good there. You'll be able to see it clicking on it over here. And what's cool is if you guys get the Ravencoin Ravencoin core wallet like I have here, or actually any wallet that's asset aware, and create a, well, you have to get on the testnet, so you have to have the core wallet. And if you get on the testnet, you'll be able to participate in this because we'll be able to send you, I'll be able to send you, like, for example, that unique asset or whatever else we create underneath here. You know, we might divvy out some shares of Pocket Change XD. You know, we need to do that, and we're going to be reissuing to once we figure out how many shares we need of that company, and then we can distribute those out to all the different participants. You know, we can pretend like you're buying, you know, 100 shares of Pocket Change XD, for example, and I can send you those 100. And yeah, and it'll make it cool to interact that way using this little scenario that we've come up with. I think it'll be neat. All right, so Max Voltage, post your link over here. Let's see, I can probably have it here too. Oh, he is live already. Okay. He said, man, you're taking too long. Here, let's do this. All right. We'll throw this over here. So let's go and do a Savage raid on Max Voltage's stream over there. I think he's going to be talking about MEV, miner extracted value, I believe is what it was about. All core dev meaning preview. Oh, okay, so EIP 1559, and talking about how it won't be the main topic. I'm sure of that. So maybe it's not MEV, although they should be talking about that, because I think that that's far more important, and it's much more of a threat to Ethereum than the transaction fees are, in my opinion, and the whole user experience and predictable transaction fees and stuff like that. I think MEV is what they really should be focused on, but who am I? I don't know. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. You guys are awesome for hanging out and listening to me talk about the Ravencoin network NFT scenario that we got playing up here. I think it's gonna be cool as we build on this. You can ask Serpent. We did a whole scenario too a while back with unique assets and restricted assets and all kinds of cool stuff. So we're gonna get into it. So far, we did create a NFT, and that was the whole goal. I know I talked about NFTs early on, but I wanted to, you know, basically give a background as to why this was significant for the Ravencoin network, because, you know, they've been doing this since this was one of their primary goals, was to be able to do basically an NFT with unique assets. What's cool, what I think needs to happen is definitely some of it is already in work, where you're able to transfer like an NFT from one network to another. I believe that there are bridges there, but Ravencoin needs a bridge for NFTs because it is so much less expensive to create an NFT. You saw how much it costed us. Like, this creation of an NFT on the mainnet costs the same. It's 5 Raven. So right now, if you were to create an NFT on the mainnet of Ravencoin, it would be 5 Raven, and that's it. Which means, how much is that? What's Raven right now? 15 cents or something? I don't even know. I don't even know. Let's go find out. So it's 15 cents. So 5 Raven will be 76 cents, you know, USD, to create an NFT. Now you got to have the other things above that. I believe you can only create a unique asset. I believe, I don't know. I'd have to check that. Yeah, you might be able to create a unique asset without a main asset. No, it has to be underneath. Yeah, okay, so it has to be underneath of a main asset. All right. Yeah, so for 76 cents you can create an NFT. So think about that. Just think about that. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. If you thought that this was entertaining or useful in any way, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. You guys are awesome for hanging out. And thanks, Red Panda, for showing up. Yeah, smash that like, everybody. Do it. Yeah, thanks so much, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow night. Ooh, wow. Tomorrow is Friday already. Crypto Fireball Friday. Maybe I'll get back to doing an actual Crypto Fireball Friday. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, stay savage, everybody.